Allora, prima di iniziare, questa è una pagina molto seguita che si chiama PlayStationGrenade, che diciamo dà sempre delle tips per quanto riguarda i nuovi giochi, per quanto riguarda i giochi sul Plus, tutto il mondo riguarda PlayStation. Per rimanere informati, PlayStationGrenade è il canale giusto. Andiamo a vedere questo mese che cazzo esce.
September is here again to slap you in the face with the biggest games of the year. And this time around it's absolutely jam-packed. From the
Come al solito vedo che non funzionano mai un cazzo i sottotitoli, sono sempre una merda, quindi noi li terremo in inglese e vaffanculo.
AAA to the free-to-play and the hidden gems.
Cioè, esempio, sta cosa è una figata.
Along the way. Let's go.
Questo del passo è una hit, quella lì che devi fare un passo alla volta, che se no lo caschi, fa le cose.
Today's video is sponsored by Konami Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, which I've been playing and will tell you about very soon. Hello there, I'm Adam. Let's do this.
Ok, ciao Adam, ciao a te, che
September.
Allora, questo che è Borderlands
sees the return of Borderlands.
Ecco, ad esempio io Borderlands non è un gioco che seguo molto, non so se voi lo seguite, anzi ditemelo se seguite Borderlands, io non sono mai riuscito a seguirlo, non mi è mai piaciuto il genere, zero proprio, c'ho sfibrolone, bentornato.
4 takes the iconic cel-shaded looter shooter and layers new mechanics and quality of life.
Ma non mi piace neanche lo stile di disegno, cioè non mi piace né la storia né lo stile di disegno, non mi piace
updates alongside a new story that will continue the overarching narrative seen in the
cioè, capito, sta roba
previous games.
No, non è
Every aspect of the gameplay has been iterated upon, like traversal. We now have a grappling hook to utilize, as well as double jump.
No, non è assolutamente il mio gioco, cioè, capito, se dovessi giocare una roba del genere 2025 ti direi no, però a molti piace, in realtà è una serie molto seguita. Quindi ok, abbiamo Borderlands 4 che esce a ottobre.
Arriving much sooner is the return of Metal Gear Solid, and a game legitimately in my top 5 of all time. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater brings the iconic PS2 game up to current gen standards using Unreal Engine 5, and once again sends us behind enemy lines to track down our mentor who has defected to the opposition. Gameplay stays faithful to the original as we stealth our way through an army of soldiers starting out in the jungle, or we can go in guns blazing if that suits your playstyle.
Ok, Metal Gear è inutile, già sappiamo.
After years of waiting.
Allora, Hollow Knight Silksong. Allora, questo da quello che ho capito è un mezzo DLC del gioco principale. In realtà a me mi ha messo molto curiosità sto videogioco, perché io non l'ho giocato, mi avete detto lo porterai, non lo porterai. In realtà mi avete un po' incuriosito, non so quanto tempo ci potrei rimettere a recuperarlo, però potrebbe essere interesting secondo me farlo.
Hollow Knight Silksong finally has a release date of September 4th. Team Cherry
4 settembre.
This Hollow Knight sequel has been in the works since 2019. The 2D Metroidvania with a cult following brings forward Hornet as our
Ma a livello di storia com'è il gioco?
playable character, a princess in a fallen kingdom.
Ah, Hollow Knight è lunghissimo?
Who breaks free from her imprisonment and explores the subterranean catacombs. Hornet is a hunter and will face countless enemies which will be increasingly challenging as she finds new abilities which unlock new areas. And Silksong
ma lo stile di gioco mi sembra quello dei Cuphead, o mi sbaglio?
Is bigger than the original Hollow Knight, which took on average over 80 hours to see and do everything the game had to offer.
80 ore?
As a staggering amount of content is completely optional and sometimes hidden away. Hollow Knight Silksong is releasing on everything, the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One, the Xbox Series, the Switch 1, Switch 2,
Hanno tutte le piattaforme,
and of
tanta
course
roba.
the PC on September 4th. A game that was pushed back to...
Allora, questo è molto interessante. Dying Light the Beast. Molti mi hanno detto Cicca lo porti, a me mi piace la serie. Altri mi hanno detto no, però non l'ho seguita molto. Capiamo.
September is Dying Light the Beast. Kyle Crane returns
graficamente devastante
from the very first game, and it's revealed he was captured and tested upon for the last 13 years, and now he wants his revenge. Dying Light is best described as a parkour survival horror game.
Parkour survival horror game.
As we freely roam the open
pure sul Game Pass ci sarà, Cicco?
world, which is littered with the zombie hordes, and venturing out after sunset is extremely dangerous as those undead minions are more aggressive and hostile at night. Luckily, or rather unluckily, Kyle is now part human and part zombie.
Quindi abbiamo che il protagonista è in parte umano, in parte zombie, e quindi da quello che vedo classica situazione sopravvivenza horror alla Days Gone. Quindi ovviamente ci saranno tutti quei frame horror spaventosi, quella roba lì, qualche jumpscare e ti farà cagare addosso e mi farà bestemmiare tutti i santi le madonne.
Thanks to the merging of DNA, which unlocks a new set of skills to utilize.
Ma c'è anche un multiplayer o solo un single player?
And controlling that zombie DNA will be crucial as we make human alliances to track down the evil scientists that did those experimentations on you. Dying Light the Beast comes to PS5, Xbox Series and PC on
il 19 settembre. Ci potrei
19th,
pensare.
with a last gen PS4 version coming later in the year. If you're looking for a more traditional survival horror out.
Allora, Silent Hill io al 99,9% lo porterò in stream, non lo porterò ovviamente sui miei canali, né di rematch, né YouTube, né reaction, né il nuovo canale che ho creato per quanto riguarda tutte le clip e i VOD di Twitch, quindi mi raccomando, state su twitch.com/clip, ragazzi, per le clip. Silent Hill lo porterò solo ed esclusivamente in stream.
Then look
forza.
out for Silent Hill F. This
Molto
time
bello,
Silent Hill is going back to the 1960s.
Allora, il disegno non mi ha fatto impazzire, cioè mi sembra molto, per essere nel 2025, molto poco real, però
And Japan,
capiamo.
as all of a sudden a fog engulfs the town. Hinako is our hero, a high schooler who must navigate the twisted paths of Ebesagoka, sorry if I mispronounced that, solving puzzles as her hometown transforms
Cioè, zio Pera, se te fa cagare sotto.
into a nightmare, confronting grotesque monsters to survive. Combat takes its basics from the Silent Hill 2 remake last year, with melee weapons being picked up while we explore, like a pipe.
Madonna mia, comunque è proprio creepy sta roba.
Yeah, there's more depth
Mamma mia.
here in F. We have a much more
Molto
robust
creepy, è
dodge this time
devastante.
around. And those with good timing can counter attacks. Bosses in Silent Hill F are said to be much more challenging
Se
than
c'è
in
quella
previous
funziona.
games, with a lot of trial and error, as understanding their attack patterns is important. It looks absolutely petrifying to me. Silent Hill F launches on PS5, Xbox Series and PC on September 25th.
Ciao Sara, buonasera a te.
Okie dokie.
Free games.
If your wallet is taking too much of a kicking this month
Ok,
and you
gioco
want a
gratuito,
free-to-play
che c'hai
game,
dai
I've
gratuito
got
questo
two to
mese?
talk to you about this time. Remember when we looked at Skate last month, the skateboarding arcade sim that will be a free-to-play game as a service?
Skate è gratuito?
Well, we will finally learn the release date on Tuesday, August 26th.
Oddio.
That's tomorrow if you're watching this when I release it. And as usual, I'll leave a comment below when that date is 100% confirmed. Since the last time we spoke, more info has come up, including how many players can fit in one server.
Cazzo,
and
questo
it's
è figo.
150. We were also shown how music works in the game, and over 100 songs will be there on release. And we simply just click on our headphone icon to start
Questo è
playing our
figo, non
soundtrack
pensavo fosse
while we're skating
gratuito,
around.
raga.
There isn't any moving footage of this next bit,
Ciao,
but
Luis,
we find
buonasera.
stereos and boomboxes in the open world and interact with them to add that
world.
track to our collection. I love that touch. We know some of the artists who'll be performing, and one of those is Earth, Wind and Fire. Skate will be a live surface game in the open city of Amsterdam, fully explorable on your board and also on foot, with a little climbing to get to those out of reach places. I plan to make a full breakdown of Skate a little closer to the release date.
Piattaforme?
Coming on September 2nd.
Scusa, ma Skate quindi già c'è in giro? Non ho capito. Cioè, è fighissimo se questo è il gioco gratuito. Cioè, quindi tu è multiplayer, tutti quanti ci potremmo giocare una hit.
Is the biggest ever update seen in World of Tanks. I'm sure you've heard about it over the last 15 years, the Armored Warfare
World of Tanks, ad esempio, non mi è mai piaciuto.
And this update is so monumental, they're calling it World of Tanks 2.0. Everything has been revamped, from a new interface and garage, a new map is being introduced, a new matchmaker, rebalancing online, and other things.
Lui non mi è mai piaciuto.
Definitely. Okay, back to priced game.
Baby Steps, questo è figo.
Now, and a
Questo fa
little
pisciare
gem that
addosso alle
will be
risate.
equally hilarious and frustrating. Have you seen Baby Steps? A game that forces us out of our parents' basement and into the open world. Yet wait a second, as this is a coordination game, and simply putting one foot in front of the other is a chore at first. It takes a lot of concentration. When it finally clicks, the tasks become harder and harder. But there's no death or game over screen here. Instead, when Nate falls down, he picks himself up and starts again. Even if that meant you slid all the way to the bottom of a hill, you just start all over again. A super simple premise that is brought to life by the weird and incredibly awkward people you meet on the way. Baby Steps hit
8 settembre.
PS5 and PC on September 8th. September also sees the return of Sonic in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, a kart racer starring
Sonic, praticamente questo qua è tipo la controfigura di Mario Kart.
The Blue Blur. And here's the gimmick. We have crossover characters from other franchises, like Steve from Minecraft, and SpongeBob's here, and Patrick too, and even Hatsune Miku.
No, guarda che cazzo di collaborazione comunque.
Plus, more crossover characters will be announced, so I guess Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is living up to its name. On the track, it's a standard kart racer with power-ups and speed traps, yet we can drive
era tipo un Groudon
through rings into other dimensions mid-race, and when we return back to the track again, it's changed, keeping drivers on their
Io ci giocavo sulla Xbox 360 della mia nonna.
toes, with to the crazy
Kronos. Allora, questo è un altro gioco molto interessante che mi avete detto di portare, sempre a livello horror. La richiesta l'ho fatta. Esce il 25 di settembre. Questo è un bel gioco, infatti occhio.
horror games this month, and it's Chronos: The New Dawn, a third-person action survival game which is quickest described as Resident Evil meets Dead Space. Coming from Bloober Team, who put out the sublime Silent Hill 2 last year, we
brutto questo.
Play as a lone protagonist known as the Traveler. The uneasy feeling is amplified by a great mechanic that sees defeated enemies reanimate, merge, and reform into tougher creatures. And to stop that, we have to dispose of everybody correctly. We also have the ability to travel through time and even reverse it in front of our eyes. Doing this in the right place can unveil new areas, but simultaneously, new enemies will also be
Cicco, certo, me lo devi dire.
Chronos: The New Dawn hits PS5, Xbox Series PC, and Switch 2 on September 5th. I think that's
Come 5 settembre? Ne era 25? Ehi, qualcuno è arrivato a fine video. Allora ti lascio due bei video che secondo me dovresti goderti.